Greetings, spirits. Come in and take your seat. I can see that you are curious in search of a nebulous fable, an esoteric myth, or a legend to be counted by the fireside.
Well, let me tell you the dark story that haunts these places. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Phantom Manor. Our story begins during the vast era of the Gold Rush, when mountains and wonders are promised to the nugget seekers who have come by the thousands to settle in these distant lands. In this exciting time, Henry Ravenswood, accompanied by his wife Martha and their daughter Melanie, moved to Sandermessa, a small town full of promise along the rivers of the far west. Filled with the desire to make his fortune, Henry Ravenswood had a mine built in the heart of the mountain. His mining operation, according to the Thunder Mining Company, is rapidly flourishing. As a token of their new fortune, Henry Ravenswood had a sumptuous mansion built at the top of the highest hill in Thunder Mesa, overlooking the city with its opulence. Imagine this 4-story residence, resplendent in its Victorian style, very daring for the time. In front, a large covered porch, and at the top, a tower detached from the roof. Imagine the garden, splendor and flowers, around 2 gazebos that dress up this ostensible deka, the Pride. However, dear spirits, their story would not end there, for it is said throughout the valley that it was another event that changed the destiny of the family forever. Melanie Ravenswood would have been courted by 4 suitors, and a marriage would be profiled under the gaze of Henry Ravenswood's approvers. According to rumors, his suitors had not been able to find favor in his eyes, and the patriarch would have taken umbrage. Unfortunately, fate did not leave him a say, as a terrible earthquake struck the city of Sandomessa. Henry and Martha Ravenswood then both perished in the depths of the rift, leaving Melanie overwhelmed in her sad home. Whispers say that it took place on her wedding day. Was it the bee? We cannot say too much. And it is at this moment, estimable spirits, that our tale takes a more than dark turn. The 4 suitors for Melanie Ravenswood's happiness would then have started to disappear, each in turn in a way that says premature. Have you heard of the fate of Ignatius Knight, whose future exploded in the crash of a pipe lit by the fire of dynamite? Or even of Rowan D. Falls, who fell from a height when his boat took him straight to a waterfall? But wasn't it said that he was a very seasoned captain? No one would like to end his life like Sawyer Bottom, who was cut to the heart of his flesh by a circular saw. And what a sad fate was that of Barry, Claude, who crossed the path of an owlet, who chased him to his last penny. Of all the aspirants to Melanie Ravenswood's hand, none remained. But on this fateful wedding day, it is said that the bride-to-be, already adorned with her wedding dress, could not leave her outfit or her premises. Passers-by would have seen her continue to wander the corridors of the house, still waiting for her fiancé to come and pick her up. Alas, abandoned by its adored owners, the manor fell into disrepair. Nevertheless, strange new inhabitants seemed to find their habits there. It is said that the promise of a marriage attracted many guests throughout the country, but they all ended up imprisoned, as well as the sad bride, in these places where time remains frozen, forever blocked, waiting for the wedding. This would not prevent our mischievous spirits from having the heart to celebrate and accompanying all the newcomers to the joys offered by the manor. However, a shadow seems to hang over his joyful returnees. While Melanie Ravenswood would continue to roam the corridors in search of her fiancé, a spectre would be there, at her feet. Here the places of his evil aura. But who is he? He walks through the manor as if he knew it. and his silhouette would not be reminiscent of that of the former owner of the house. The young woman does not seem to notice this infernal presence. But you, subtle minds, I know that you see beyond the mirror his ominous silhouette. Follow me in this story. Perhaps it will lead us to our destiny. It is by diving deep into the bowels of the manor that you could hear the echo of a once joyful time, a distant and ghostly memory of the city of Sundance. Admittedly, the mayor no longer really has a head on his shoulders, but its inhabitants are also welcoming. Maybe a little too much. Do they really want to let us go? Moreover, the ghost never ceases to hint at its macabre presence. Some stories even say that he was there to accompany the barge to the Booth Hill Cemetery, which adjoins the manor. In this final resting place is the tomb of the unfortunate Henry and Martha Ravenswood, united forever in death. But what attracts the ghosts to these places? Could it be because they are at last seeking perpetual rest? Not far from there, their daughter Melanie would continue to wait for her fiancé for eternity. But something tells me that she won't be alone for very long. Is it not said that death is not an end, but a new beginning? Enter Ghost Manor, the most haunted mansion in Sundermessa. Listen carefully to what our story says, or could all this be true? Now it's up to you to find out.